was found lifeless in ladder stream at 8 a.m. in the morning. May the soul of the Scovia so rest in eternal peace. More news: a mother and a daughter electrocuted in Chankwanzi. Police in Chankwanzi district are investigating the suspected electrocution of a woman and her young daughter at Chikondwe B village in Sambia sub-county. The victims were identified as a 38-year-old Edith Zawede and her 1.5-year-old daughter Abigail Mwanguzi Lubega. According to Police Public Relations Chief Officer, Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Rusoke Chitumwa, the incident happened at around 11 p.m. on 26th of October 2025. Still in the more news, let's stay tuned as we go for commercial break. We shall return with the international news.
Radio, a voice so kind, touching hearts and soothing minds. Tune in now.
Abange! Tumusubira ku musanvu ez'omukisa n'ebyamagero n'obusiima Katonda. Bishop Tom Kategere owali Suppose Fellowship Ministries Ebukoto akwaniriza munaku omusanvu ez'okusaba okwebaza n'okusinza wamu n'okutendereza ng'okubeera n'okugamaza 2 Desemba paka nga 3 Desemba. Tukutumaleko omwaka mu maanyi. Ama Bishop Tom Kategere bategeeze.
Nze Bishop Tom Kategere Zekeria Nyole talayisa ekiremo zanganda mbayita mu nnaku omusanvu eza Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo ezaalagirwa z'ennaku ez'embaga y'okuyitako ennaku ezajjirwamu abaana ba Isirayiri e Misiri ne bakulosinga ennyanja emyufu badda mu ddungu okuva mu buddu obw'emyaka 400 bazzukulu ba Abrahamu. Era zino z'ennaku mwe tuweerayo ekiweebwayo eky'okwebaza Katonda olw'omwaka omulamba gwakukuumye. Mukimanyi bulungi omwaka muzibu okugulingizaamu naye Katonda agulingizaamu n'agukuyisaamu nga bw'azaaza akakoko akawanga n'akaseera mugi omuntu mwabatalingiza naye byonna ne bwayise yaba asaanidde okwebazibwa. Tandika ng'ennaku z'omwezi 24 ne zimaliriza ng'ennaku z'omwezi 31 emisana akawungeezi ne tuyitamu n'okusaba okw'ekiro mpaka nga lumu. Ennaku zino tosaanye kuzisubwa kubanga z'ennaku ezirangirira obuwangaazi bwo n'emikisa gye gy'omwaka omupya. Nnaku za kwewombeka maaso ga Mukama, nnaku za kubeerawo nga tusaba, nnaku za kubeera nga twegayira nga tuyigirizibwa eringa semina nga bw'owulira conference naye ng'ate teri kusiiba wabula kusaba kuyigirizibwa emisana n'ekiro. Ng'ennaku zino mwe yakomererwa ate z'ennaku mwe yazuukirira mu bafu. Ojja kutambulira mu maanyi ag'okuzuukira kwa Kristo. Ebyo byonna bisigale nga biramu ate nga byazuukira. Ojja kulaba omukisa gujja kuba mungi nnyo ate n'ebikoligo bijja kukutukako omwaka gubeere gwa njawulo omupya gwe tunaaba tuyingira. Nkuyita obeerewo mu linnya Yesu Kristo Mukama waffe. Amin.
Nzakalango nange nkamaze.
Nafunyeze wepita leka sitani yetuge lelo kubotola.
Uwai katamba upapapa puraga wumde buno.
Muzairoziyo ebyenfuna engeri gye bitabuseemu ensangi zino si kirungi kuwulwa ssente omulwe n'emmere mu maka ng'endamba misango kwegulira kawunga.
Misango bebaluwaabo era basangibwawa.
Misango Grain Millers basangibwa Bukoto Kisaasi Road opposite St. Peter's Church. Bano be balina akawunga ak'omulembe akateekebwateekebwa abakugu eri omukulu omutono omukadde ate nga kalimu n'ekirungo ekyongera amaanyi mu mubiri gwo. Kano kali mu bipimo byonna bye waali etaaze. W'ow'essomero omusuubuzi nawe kamukamu bakwaniriza ate nawe omulunzi w'enkoko ekibuuzo kyo n'essaala zo baabyanukudde anti bakolera emmere y'enkoko ey'omulembe enkoko zo ne zikula mu wiiki 2 abaguzi ne batandika okwetala ate nga woogula mu bungi ebyentambula baabitereeza anti ebintu bwe bakutambuliza paka mu luggya lwo gw'abeetaaze bakubire ku ssimu 772442 oba 7724423939 Misango Grain Millers be bannantameggwa mu mmere y'enkoko kw'ossa n'akawunga ak'omulembe beekwate tojja kwejjusa.
Welcome back from the commercial break, and here we continue with our international news. Cameroonians Paul Biya wins eighth term at 92 amidst unrest. In Yaoundé, President Paul Biya has been declared the winner of Cameroon's presidential election, scoring a record 8th term at the age of 92, according to results released by the Constitution Council on Monday. Biya, the world's eldest serving head of state, received 53.6% of the vote, defeating his former ally turned opponent Issa Tochiroma Bekari, who obtained 35.9%. The outcome extends Biya's rule for another 7 years, potentially keeping him in power until 100. Following the announcement, Chiroma claimed that gunfire erupted outside his residence in northern city of Garua, saying 2 people were killed in the incident. His statement, posted on Facebook, could not be independently verified. Over the past week, tension has gripped the nation as opposition supporters clashed with the security forces, disputing early result that indicated Biya's lead. Let's listen to more details.
Japan has elected its first ever female Prime Minister, with Conservative politician Sanae Takaichi securing a win against opposition leader Yoshihiko Noda. Her historic election breaks a 140-year precedent in Japanese politics. 64-year-old Takaichi is known as Japan's Iron Lady. She's an admirer of former UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. The Liberal Democratic Party president received 237 votes in the lower house election, topping the majority of the 465 seat.
Still in the international news, Mali government has suspended classes nationwide for 2 weeks after jihadist group blocked fuel imports, triggering several shortages that have paralyzed daily activities. Education Minister Amadou S. Savin announced the decision on state television on Sunday, citing disruptions in fuel supply are affecting the movement of teachers and staff. He said authorities are working to normalize fuel availability before schools reopen on November 10th. Since early September, militants linked to Al-Qaeda under the Jamaat, Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin Jenim network have enforced a ban on fuel entering the country, drastically reducing supplies in the capital, Bamako. Long queues have moved at gas stations, and prices of basic goods and transport have surged as a result. The militant-led government has imposed nationwide fuel restriction, prioritizing emergency vehicles, public transport, and freight services until further notice. For more, let's get into the details.
Biya has won the election in Cameroon. The 92-year-old, who is the world's oldest president, securing a record 8th term in office. Now, according to the Constitutional Council, Biya won over 53% of the vote. For more on this story, we can go across to our correspondent, Indra Ayuk, standing by. Indra, this result is unprecedented for Paul Biya, who's now set to start a record 8th term.
Yes, it is official here in Cameroon. President Paul Biya has won another term in power as the president of Cameroon, an 8th term in power. He has been president of Cameroon since 1982, and he has just been elected by 53.9% by Cameroonians who hope to see him lead the country for another 7 years. He was closely followed by opposition figure and former government minister Issa Chiroma Bakari, who recorded 35.19% in the October 12 presidential elections. The results were made public by the Constitutional Council a few minutes ago at the Yaoundé Congress Center, much to the joy of supporters of Paul Biya under the ruling CPDM party. It is worth noting that the elections, which were held on the 12th of October, the results have been awaited or long awaited. Today happened to be the deadline according to the Electoral Code, which gives the Constitutional Council and the electoral body in Cameroon, ELECAM, 15 days to publish the official results. It is now known in the presence of different political parties, the public and top government officials, as well as some international organizations. The results were published this day. Now, it is worth stating here that his close challenger or his close rival, that is Issa Chiroma Bakari, had declared himself president some days ago, much to the disappointment of the government and also some institutions which thought that he should have waited for the official results.
So given that he claimed the presidency, talk us through the climate in the country as this result gets announced.
The climate has been tense. Yesterday, in some parts of the country, including the capital Yaoundé, there were unrest. People took to the streets, particularly supporters of Issa Chiroma Bakari, who were calling on the Constitutional Council to respect the votes of the people. According to them, Cameroonians had voted their candidate. But early this morning, prior to the proclamation of the results, everywhere was calm. The streets were deserted as people decided to stay indoors to avoid any form of confrontation or attacks with security forces. The streets of Yaoundé were highly militarized, not only Yaoundé, but different parts of the country, including Douala and Garoua, which is the fief of opposition candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari. Schools remain closed today, as they have been since Friday last week, for the fear of any eventuality. At the moment, it's not clear if people are still indoors or if they have decided to take to the streets, respecting a call by the opposition candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari for them to stage peaceful protests until their votes are respected.
As we conclude the international news, in Japan has appointed the first ever female prime minister, marking a historical political moment as Sanae Tachi takes off following a parliamentary vote on Tuesday. Tachi received 237 votes in the 464-seat lower house and is expected to secure approval in the upper chamber before being officially sworn in today. Her election follows a new coalition between her Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, and the right-leaning Japan Innovation Party, sealed just a day earlier. The deal came after the LDP's long-term alliance with the Buddhist-backed Communist Party collapsed over ideological differences. Outgoing Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, also from the LDP, resigned last month, paving the way for Tachi's leadership. While her appointment breaks a long-standing gender barrier in Japanese politics, it also signals a more conservative direction for the country. Known for her admiration of former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, Tachi enters office amid growing public frustration over inflation and immigration. For details, we get it.
Paul Biya, aged 92 and the world's oldest head of state, has been officially declared winner of the presidential election in Cameroon, securing a historic 8th term in office. The ruling was announced by the country's Constitutional Council on Monday after a vote held earlier this month. Biya has been in power since 1982 and extends his decades-long rule amid significant political tension. He faces accusation of delaying results, restricting opposition participation, and overseeing a system in which his party holds deep influence. The opposition has denounced the result as lacking credibility and called for national dialogue.
Dear listeners, as we go for a commercial break, return with the sports news.
Voice so kind, touching hearts and soothing minds. Tune in now.
Omuzadde kankwanjulire essomero eddungi Makerere Modern Secondary School erisangibwa Makerere Kikoni okuliraana Makerere Business Institute lya O ne A-level nga ly'abawala n'abalenzi lya kisulo awamu n'abo abava wabweru. Tulina computer laboratory ennungi okuzaama, chemistry, physics wamu ne biology lab zirimu ebyuma byonna ebyetaagisa omuyizi okuyita obulungi. Enzikiza zonna zikkirizibwa. Tulina enable center namba abasomesa baffe batendeka okuzaama abaana basomera walungi okuzaama. Ebisale byaffe bijja mu buli nsawo ya muzadde. Okumanya ebisingawo tukubire ku 0772888884 oba 0755931200. Nziddamu 0772888884 oba 0755931200. Iye Makerere Modern Secondary School ku lw'empirizi y'omutindo. Omulabe budwa kutayiza nawe mutayize tomulekera mwaganya gwakusekerera enisewe y'omwenda kuba kusaba koka
Mose ekesigale ejo amafata malenya soma gwa Katonda Yesu Omunazaresi leka obukulu bwo Mukama atabula bisiwe Mukama nkwebaza onsitula
kufunfuza mulabe mu buli nsonda ne Bishop Tom Kategere owa Disciples Fellowship Ministries ebukoto.
Omwoyo gw'obulimba kutula omwoyo gw'obwenzi kutula.
In this festive season, a new rhythm takes its place. 7 days of God's rest, a time to renew. From December 24th to 31st, take a deep breath and relax. Seek God's presence to leave your worries behind. It's time to slow down and let God be next to you. 7 days of God's rest. Radio, a voice so kind, touching hearts and soothing minds. Tune in now.
You're listening to your favorite online radio station, Radio You. Ito was Mukisa, the Sovi.
Dear beloved listeners, we're here back with the sports news, and we begin with the local news, local sports news. FIFA Big League side Chinda Boys FC have terminated the contract of head coach James Kamari following a poor start to the new season. Kamari was appointed as the head coach of the start of the month alongside Farida Blega as his immediate assistant. Kamari was hired as a replacement of Michael Skills-Luchamzi, who left the club to join Blackers Power in the pre-season. The contract termination comes in the aftermath of the club's 1-0 defeat to Solital Bright Stars at Batham City Ground in Chiwenda. The club has appointed Ayub Kiza as the interim head coach with immediate effect. The former KCCA, Express FC and Victors defender has been serving as the club's fitness coach. Kiza's immediate task will be an away game against Chigezi Homeboys on Sunday, 2nd November. Still in the local sports, Budo SS as the table has been put across. Budo SS, Boston High School, Medina Islam, Greenlight Nansana, Chinawa High School, City Land College, and in Group B, Royal College Blaga, St. Juliana High School, Gayaza, K Garden Grove Chitemu, Namgongo Vacation and Secondary School, Chisobi, Mpera, Chadondo SS, Group C, Standard High School Zana, Lakeview Church of Uganda Chitinda, Kawanda SS, and Mwesigwa SS, Kasule High School, Wampeo Ntake SS. In Group D, St. Mary's Chitende, London College Nansana, Aiden College Indeje, Abu Aisha Light High School Seguku. Still in the local sports news, Uganda's national women's cricket team, the Victoria Pearls, completed a dominant 5-0 series whitewash against visiting Canada women after a thrill 12-run victory in the fifth and final W2 2-0-1 of the 25 victory series at Lugogo Oval in Kampala earlier today. The hosts were once again asked to bat first by visiting Canadians, posted 1-0-1 for 4 in their allotted 20 overs, thanks to Andy contribution from Captain Janet Mbabazi, a 26 of 31. At the top of the order, Rita Musamali, 20, not of 28. Here is the international sports news. Rodrigue resumes full training, boosting Manchester City for upcoming features. Manchester City midfielder Rodrigue, the 2024 Ballon d'Or winner, has returned to full training after a hamstring injury sidelined him for 3 matches following the October 5th win over Bradford. He joins Ilike Gundogan, Omar Mahmoush and Abdulkadir Konsavi in bolstering the squad ahead of the Carabao Cup tie against Swansea City on October 29th and the Premier League match versus Bournemouth on November 2nd. Manager Pepe Guardiola must now make a decision on squad rotation amid a demanding schedule. Still in the sports news, Brendan Rodgers resigns at Celtic manager after turbulent start. Celtic Football Club announced Brendan Rodgers' immediate resignation as a manager on Monday evening, following a poor start to the Scottish Premier season, where the team sits second with 17 points from 8 games. 5 behind leaders Hearts. The club expressed thanks for his contributions, including multiple titles across 2 spells, and initiated a search for a permanent replacement, with former manager Martin O'Neill and ex-player Sean Mullane appointed to oversee first-team matters on an interim basis ahead of the Old Firm derby against Rangers. Lastly, in the sports news, Brian Mbaume tops fan poll for Premier League Match Week 9 Player of the Match. Manchester United forward Brian Mbaume leads the Premier League's fan vote for Match Week 9 standout performer after scoring a brace in a 4-2 victory over Brighton, scoring the team's 3rd consecutive win and 4th place standing. The poll includes 8 nominees such as Tottenham's Mikey Van Den van de Ven for his 2 defensive goals in a 3-0 win, and Arsenal's Ebranchi Eze for his match-winning volley against Crystal Palace. Voting remains open until Tuesday noon GMT, with fans actively supporting their choices on social media. For now, the sports news. We end the sport news. Dear listeners, thanks for being good listeners of Radio Yo. I've been Wandela Brian for the 11 o'clock news. We meet next hours. Thanks for being good listeners. May God bless you.